When it comes to like doing these things, what I kind of want to get out of the way first is basically
Hmm.
the basic duelist history, right? So how did you get into the game, first and foremost?
How do I get into the game? Okay, so I mean, for me, it obviously definitely started with the original Yu-Gi-Oh, watching it on TV. That's basically where it all began for me, and then collecting the cards and stuff like that. Yeah, I got really heavy into Yu-Gi-Oh. I love it. Same with Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh just started for me with the original. When it came on, Kids WB, and stuff like that. Yeah, it was Kids WB. And yeah, it's pretty much. I was there when it first came out. And I'm 31 years old, by the way. So I was there when it like literally when it first started. And yeah, so I continued playing Yu-Gi-Oh ever since. I kind of stopped playing. I kind of quit after a certain point. This was before GX came out, and they were doing a lot of reruns on TV of Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. And I didn't have anyone to play with anymore. And I was just like, oh, like this is getting. It felt like it was getting boring to me, but really, I just didn't have anyone to play with, and I'd already watched all the episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I was like, okay, I decided to just put all my cards away in a box in the closet and never touch them again. Like I was leaving Yu-Gi-Oh for good. And then some time passed. GX kind of came out, and to uh, I was hesitant to start it up. I saw it playing on Toonami, Cartoon Network, and um, I saw Yu-Gi-Oh! GX there. I didn't want to tap it because I'm like, nope, I gave up Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm done with it. I'm moving on, this and that. I was scrolling through the channels and there was just nothing good to watch. I'm like, all right, whatever, let me give it a shot. So I watched the GX, and it was like episode three, Alexis versus Judai, very early on season one, and it was fun. And I kind of just kept watching from there, and I stuck with Yu-Gi-Oh ever since. And that's kind of like what brought me back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Jaden, the Elemental Heroes, and just the GX, funness of GX. And yeah, I've loved Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever since, and I watched it all the way through, all the way until the end of Go Rush.
That's amazing, actually. You're like one of the rare people that I know that is actually here, like since the beginning, at least anime wise. That's really fucking
Right?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna say
yeah.
it's the same for me, kinda, cause like I remember, obviously, I'm a bit younger than you. I'm 25. But I remember, back when the original series was airing. I was obviously like I was a little kid, but towards the end of the original series, I believe I kind of tuned in more purposefully, and yeah, just kind of stayed for almost no, it's quite literally 2 decades at this point, which is kind of weird to trip
Yeah,
on, you know.
right. Yeah.
But like, okay, so when it comes to like your YouTube stuff, how did that start?
So YouTube for me was, this was around. I would say that started. What was it? Like high school, maybe like senior year of high. No, no, actually, kind of started after high school. It probably started sometime during the middle, near the end. I was in college, and I decided. Uh, so me and my best friend Robbie. He and I would play Yu-Gi-Oh together. I met my friend James in high school. We went to art and design high school in Manhattan, and I met him, and then through him I met Robbie, and we both kind of Yu-Gi-Oh, and we started. Building characters. So I built Jaden's deck. He built like Yusei's deck and Kaiba's deck and stuff like that. And then we just kind of like started just building different characters decks from the show, and we just kept going back and forth like that. And then I think one day he literally just said, "Yo, like this is so much fun. Like I wish we could show these duels. I wish we could show these decks like to everyone, right? I wish we could do that." And I was like, "All right, so let's do that." So then I just kind of started the YouTube channel. I told him, "Hey, look, man, I'm starting this up. You want to do it with me, and he was down. And since then, we just built different deck profiles on YouTube, and then mm, recorded duels, and then eventually started scripting out duels and stuff like that. And I would download like the sound effects of like Yu-Gi-Oh sound effects of like drawing a card and dual disc and all that other stuff, and download Yu-Gi-Oh music to add and kind of create the experience of you know watching an anime duel. And we would memorize Japanese phrases and stuff like that, quotes, chants of like of Yuma, of Jack and Yusei and stuff like that, and kind of play that into the videos. And yeah, so we kind of that's how it kind of started. I was just like, I did do a little bit of YouTube kind of before that for fun, doing like AMVs, anime music videos, back when that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before they took that all down. And then so yeah, so that's kind of how it started with me. Obviously we just played the game together. We built the characters' decks from the shows, and then we faced them off against each other. And I was like, "Yo, let's do it. Let's start a channel." And since then, he was my partner. We worked well together for many years and did all that, and we're still brothers today. And the content creation thing has kind of gone down over the years. It's been hard to kind of keep up, and life is changing a lot, and it's hard to like keep up consistently with videos and stuff like that. So it's been a struggle, but overall, yeah. But that's how it began, and yeah,
Was there ever like a point where you realized that like, oh, this is like the thing that we're doing is kind of gaining some modicum of traction, right?
yeah. I mean, my channel never blew up, but like it always slowly, gradually progressed up. Slow and steady, not like mega slow, but it produced okayish, I guess. So it never really blew up, but in the sense that like becoming a big named YouTuber and you're getting paid through YouTube and stuff. I never became big like that. But I always wanted a lot of people to see it. When I made the content, I went in like, yo, I want people to enjoy this and see this. And I also kind of wanted it to be kind of like a guide for people, like, oh, like if they're trying to build a Usei deck, here's how we built it, and the kind of rules we kind of follow to make it as authentic as possible and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it was very slow. We'd get like uh maybe like a couple hundred views a video or something like that. Not like super fast, but it started going really well. I think we got. It's hard to remember now because it was so long ago at this point, but yeah, I think it started gaining. I always wanted it to gain traction. Because you obviously if you're making YouTube videos, like you want people to see it, you want people to enjoy it, you want people to come back for more. So and this was always something in the back of my mind that I wanted to eventually make into a career. So because I love this so much, and like if I could make this a full time gig, I would watch a lot of YouTubers, and they'd make it big, and um, I wanted to, become big as well because I wanted to. I did it for fun as well, obviously, but in the back of my mind, I was like, yo, like I really want to make this a full time job thing because the job hunting is hard in real life, right? It's hard out there, and I don't have too many skills. And I love if I could turn my passion into my career, that would be a blessing. It'd be amazing. So I worked hard for many years, but it didn't go as far as I wanted it to go. But I'm proud of all the work I did. I enjoyed it. I love all the videos. I don't regret a thing. And but yeah, there was not a point specifically. Like I said, it was a slow progression. It wasn't like a moment where like, oh, I really blew up. But whenever I saw like a couple hundred views, or people like, oh, mostly it's like the comments, but people are like, yo, like I really love this, so much fun. This stuff, just like watching the anime, like the thank you so much, like yo, when's the next one coming out? That stuff really motivates you. So. Yeah, so once we started getting traction and people being like, "Oh, I want to see more. This was really good," that keeps you going. I hope that answered your question.
No, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a bunch of what do you call it? It's a bunch of little successes, right? And you kind of
Yes.
get to like a point where it feels like an organic community is like starting to form around the thing that you love doing, which is
Yeah.
most likely the best feeling ever, aside from I don't know your
Oh,
kid
yes.
being born or you know
Right,
um,
right, right. Well, aside from the yeah, yeah,
top five for sure. Um, but yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
So,
remember. I remember like at this point, this was a little under a decade ago. I remember you commenting on actually the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh Talk that I did with our mutual buddy Dylan, who
Yes.
back
Okay.
then was part of Clueless Gamers, right? And
Right. Yeah. Those were
yeah,
the days. Yep.
yep, that was super fucking fun. I remember we had to. I have like a bunch of stuff with him that we never got around to uploading. I was
Yeah.
doing a bit of like personal cleanup with my fucking Google Drive and shit, and I just kind of realized that there's like gigabytes on gigabytes of stuff that we never got around to finishing, at least like editing wise. And yeah, I don't know. It would be
Right.
great to unearth some of these things. But I don't know. It's like decades
Yeah.
seems a long time, you know? Everyone changes
It is. It is.
a lot. Yeah, but like you're kind
Uh,
of you are kind of like a person that's always been around, you know what I mean? Like I can't remember a time
right.
where I didn't see you in the group chats or in the comments or you know, you've always been kind of present. Was this always a thing, or were you
Yeah.
having like down periods when it comes to your engagement with the
Of what? Like
community?
when it comes to my engagement, like in Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole, or like with like in being in Dylan's chat and stuff, or like all that.
Um,
Like which area?
just the Yu-Gi-Oh community in general, right? Yu-Gi-Oh community online, more specific.
So, I mean, it was definitely my entrance to the Yu-Gi-Oh community was definitely through Dylan's channel. Otherwise, I don't really comment on a lot of videos and stuff like that. Very rarely I do, and if something really blows me away, I'll like write a comment and be like, "Yo, this was really really incredible" or whatever. But for the most part, I didn't really like talk much with people in there. Um, cause Dylan was definitely the first person in the community that I met, and I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, man, this was when he was still Clueless Gamers," and I was like, "All right, this guy, I love his videos, let me get him now before he gets real big." So I got him, and I met him, and then, we did a couple videos. I did some Arc 5, reviews with him and stuff like that. I did some thumbnails for him. It kind of started with that, and then eventually he became big, started doing live stream. So I was never like in the community in terms of like in the comment section. I'd say once he started his live streams, then I started like popping into the chat here and there. But I've always been around, and I've always like kind of talked to Dylan whenever I could, whenever he had time, or whenever we were going to work on something together, or whenever I have send him thumbnails for his Arc 5 reviews or his Vrains reviews and stuff, Sevens reviews. So I've been doing thumbnails for him for years and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, so it's been quite a journey. But I didn't really communicate a lot with a lot of other like YouTubers. To be honest, I didn't really put myself out there a lot. I did the low tier for life. I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, let's do a video." We did like one or two videos together once. Maybe this might have been like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know at this point. Uh, so we did that. That was super fun. We did like the top 10. I think favorite archetypes, or top 10 archetypes we want to see get support. Something definitely the top 10 archetypes, favorite archetypes, and we kind of went on with that. And he's one of them that I communicated with. I don't think I've reached out to too many. I've always been kind of insecure reaching out to people, especially the bigger they are, because it's like, oh, they're never gonna see this or want me to like, they're not gonna, I'm sure they get requests every day. I'm the type of person where I'm like, if I don't think they're gonna give me the time, I'm not even gonna bother trying. So I'm just kind of like that. I took a shot with Dylan, and thankfully he was obviously he's a really awesome, sweet guy, and you know, and he even now, even though he's really big, he's still a pretty humble guy, easy to talk to, and all that stuff. So I love Dylan. He's great. But I didn't like invest myself into getting too much into the community. But I definitely with his live streams is where I started talking with like Goose and some other people like that, and I through his like bigger live streams, the Jump Festa one is where I actually got to meet some of them in real life. But I would say I wasn't as I wasn't as in the community as a lot of other people were. I was more in the backseat, kind of watching, listening, reading, throwing a joke comment here or there, or a question or whatever. But yeah, so that's what I would say was my involvement in the community and how I got involved in it to the extent that I did, I guess.
Yeah, there's I mean to give Dylan his flowers when I mean I feel like it's appropriate at this point. He's like very he didn't forget you know his day ones and shit, which is fucking great. Uh
No,
given that
that's incredible.
yeah, yeah, not a lot of people do that. If anyone, honestly, at this point. Like uh
Oh yeah.
again, it's kind of a testament to like not just like what he's out to do with his community, but just the community in general, right? You know that you have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a space where you can like come together and not just enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh, but also kind of see it for what it is at a given point in time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's so
Yes.
fucking great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I mean, for me too, like I mean, Dylan is like the Yu-Gi-Oh community in terms of. I mean, there's different sections of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, but when it comes to the anime, in my opinion, he is the community. Like he's the one who brings like brought everyone together. Everyone loves not just his content, but loves him and loves the crew, Pete and everybody. And like he is the community to me. Like I didn't get attached to any other Yu-Gi-Oh community other than this one. You know, yeah, we got to give him his flowers for bringing so many people together, even people who like, you know, dipped out during drains or dipped out, you know, at sevens or whatever, dipped out at different points, but like he built that community, and you know it really only exists because of him. Like you know, there's other Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers. I know there's TGS Anime, very huge, very successful, and he has
Mm-hmm.
his own Yu-Gi-Oh community as well. I never got involved in those communities. But this community was right for me because I'm a big anime guy. I love the anime. TGS Anime also loves the anime too, but he does a bunch of other stuff. Dylan is all about the anime, and he watches every not selective. He'll watch everything and he'll comment on everything, and you know, so like that really fills me because I'm like, okay, I love Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole, and so does Dylan, so I can connect with him and then connect with the community who's also watching alongside with him.
Yeah. No, no, that's amazing. I saw you react to. I think this was on your second channel, if I'm not mistaken. I saw you. This
Mhm.
was last year, I think. React to a video by an up and coming YouTuber in the anime space known as Enigma, I believe. Uh, where they kind
Mm,
of
yes.
ranked every Yu-Gi-Oh show or like every Yu-Gi-Oh movie, something somewhere, something along those
I
lines.
don't think I ever did every Yu-Gi-Oh movie. I think it was something else. It was a different topic. He it might have been about DM or something. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
uh, or maybe it was about GX. I'm not, I don't remember. I got to go back and check it out. But yeah, what about
No, no.
that video, that reaction?
The only reason why I segued into this was to ask you, how would you rank if that's at all like a fair
Hmm.
question to ask? How would you rank
No,
different
of course
Yu-Gi-Oh
it is. Yeah.
animes?
Uh, let's see. So there's two ways to look at it, right? There's like an objective way, like objectively which one I think is the greatest, and then
Mm-hmm.
which one is the one that I love the most. Because those are two different questions. You can admit something is bad, but still absolutely love it, or something could be really amazing, but then you still didn't connect with it for whatever reason. So, I guess I'll give the connection answer. The connection answer, for me, let's see. My lowest is Yu-Gi-Oh! Rings. A lot of people know that. That's kind of a running gag already, unfortunately. That's a running gag. The next one would probably be BDM. Um, it's the original that started it all, but there's some things missing from that show that uh, I feel the other shows just were stronger with connecting me with as a whole. But, you know, DM is still the GOAT for many reasons. And then, let's see. I would say probably after that, maybe go Rush. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. That's three already, right? That's three. Yeah, probably after that was Go Rush. I enjoyed Go Rush a good amount. Not as much as Seven, so Seven is going to be a little higher. Let's see. Then, because I know. Yes, brains. Okay, so then probably would be Arc Five. Then after that might be Sevens, and then it's 5Ds, and then like it's a toss up, like between like the 1 and 2 slot. Cause I want to, yeah. Actually, no. I'll put GX as second place, right? These is third, GX is second place, and then I'll put Zale as number one. So yeah, so
Zero is
it'll be
number
Zale.
one.
It'll be
Wow.
Yeah, Zale is number one, and then GX, and then 5Ds. Sometimes that can be flipped, and then after that would be Sevens, Arc Five, Go Rush, DM, and then Brains. Yes, yes, that's right. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything.
What is it with Zale that it kind of drew you in more, presumably, than any other entry?
Man, I just really fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with Yuma as a character. I fell, Astral, Shark, titled. All of them just had such rich stories, man. Rich stories. I felt like the story was pretty consistent. Yeah, you can find flaws in every Yu-Gi-Oh series, and Dale also has it. But I felt like, as a whole story, I felt like it just really hit. I really connected emotionally with Yuma's character, and just how he loved people, how he put everyone together, how just everything. Like he healed people with his words. It's a typical shonen thing. Like Naruto does the same thing and all that. But yeah, so I fell in love with that and just all the backstory, with Shark. I really connected with him as a character, as a rival. I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best rival, written rival. Like he's just incredible. And Kaito's also cool. There was a lot of really great villains. I absolutely love the soundtrack of Zale. It's incredible. It always draws me in. Such good music that Zale has. The animation is really good. When it's really good, it's really really good. I love the Zale transformations. I love the Hope forms. I just thought, it's a remake. It's kind of like a remake, sort of the original Yu-Gi-Oh, but just done better. It literally fixed a lot of the issues that I had with DM, which is why DM is so low. Because I felt there was a lot missing from DM, and Zale kind of fixed that in a lot of ways. And I love good-hearted characters, so that's why Yuma and Judai are like really up there for me because I just love their kind heart. I love when they're just having fun dueling because that's why I love dueling because it's just so much fun. And whenever they have a good heart and care about other people, that just really attracts me as a person. I just love those characteristics. So those are always going to be high for me for that reason. And yeah, I love the duels and stuff. So there's a lot of incredible duels in Zale as well, and it was just a really great ride, man. It was actually the only Yu-Gi-Oh series that when it ended, the last episode, that it made me feel so emotional. Like I felt like it was like a bittersweet ending. Like I was happy because everyone was brought back together, but I was sad because I'm never gonna see these. I'm never gonna see these characters again, and I didn't have that experience with all the other Yu-Gi-Oh series. Like I felt the most connected with it because of how well written the show was and character relationships and all. It was really incredible. So Zale was just top tier for me. I think it's just a top tier story, top tier characters, top tier music, top tier, duels as well. I mean, all of them have really incredible duels. But yeah, so that's what I would say for Zale. It was just so good. It was really good. It was weird. When you watch it at first, it's really weird. Yuma's design is really weird and uncomfortable. So is Shark and stuff, and even Kaito has kind of a weird design. But once you get past that, you get used to it. You eventually like just accept it for what it is. You eventually start loving them and start seeing them as looking cooler over time the more you invest. And obviously, I'm talking about the subbed, not the dubbed. I watched the subbed all the way. It's just that's the way to watch it, especially Zale. Like if you got to watch Zale, you have to watch it subbed. Like but there are plenty of dubbed watchers that enjoy it too, but the best quality of Zale has to be subbed. It
No,
has
no,
to be.
I
But yeah, so yeah,
agree.
that's my little rant. Yeah.
Especially with Zale. There's only so much feeling the flow I can handle. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that gets rough after a while, and the cheesy jokes and stuff too. So sometimes it's a little much with the dubbed. It was fun with DM and GX, but after that, it's just you want certain things to be taken a little more seriously, and sometimes it just gets too goofy, the dubbed, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I want, because the subbed already has its own lighthearted moments and comedy in it, so like it doesn't need extra comedy to like be funny. Like it has its own moments for that.
True,
But yeah, but
true. So I take it you grew up with the dub, kind of initially, right? Um,
yes,
you
yes, I
you
grew up with the dubbed like everyone else.
mm-hmm. How long did it take you? This is kind of a question I ask a whole bunch of people just because it's I don't know, it's a fun piece of data. How long did it take you before you realized GX had season four?
So let's see. I don't remember how it played out. I think I don't know. They were probably giving reruns on TV or something. And I don't remember exactly how it happened. I think 5Ds was coming. I don't remember if I heard it from a magazine or whatever. But I had heard there were more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and then I was just scrolling on Google or whatever trying to find them. I don't remember exactly how, but yeah. So I probably just found it like that. I was like, all right, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX season four, whatever, and then I watched it from there. That's when I first got introduced to watching subbed anime. Was literally through Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That's when I first started any sub anime was through GX. Um, and then the GX season four, and then I started watching 5Ds subbed, and I continued from there because you got to wait so long for the dub to come out anyway. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch the sub, so I'm up to date with everything. And then obviously the sub is just so much better for all the Yu-Gi-Oh series, in my opinion. There's just so much better.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Sometimes I think because fans are rabid and they whenever there's like a GX thing going on, like a anniversary or for instance the remaster that just started airing in Japan a little while ago. Um,
Hmm.
every single time anything happens with the GX material, the question's always the same. Like, when is anyone gonna dub season four? But honestly, seeing it, now we have the benefit of hindsight, right? And I don't really know if I want to see it dubbed. Not even gonna lie,
I
because
mean,
like,
yeah, I wouldn't watch it. I would still want it to be dubbed because there are people the dub watchers who didn't get to finish it and who are unwilling to watch the sub for whatever reason. They just don't want to. They just, so just for the sake of completion and so that they get their full story, I would like it to get dubbed. Would I watch it? No, because I just don't care for the dubbed anymore. It's just not for me. Even though I liked a lot of the voice acting choices for like Judai and Chaz and all, I love the dubbed for GX and DM as well. There's a lot of really great voice acting in those and stuff like that. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, I would like it to get dubbed for those people's sake because they don't are unwilling to watch the subs. But I think at this point, I would think most people have already watched GX sub by now. If they really wanted to complete the story that bad by now, they probably would have done it already. Uh, but who knows, But yeah, I wouldn't watch it because I just don't care, and I've already seen it in its best, so I don't really need to see it dubbed.
Yeah, it's a weird beast because like I agree with you by the way that like if you started watching the dub and if you grew up with the dub and if it just kind of feels more natural to you, you should be allowed to finish the story. It's kind of a bummer that four kids never got
Exactly.
around to do it.
Yeah,
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 but
and it'll never happen. It's gonna be in the vault. It is what it is.
yep. Not to burst anyone's bubbles, but sadly that is the truth.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
not gonna backtrack. It's too old now. There's no point. They have all the voice actors. You get new voice actors for some that either might be dead or aren't interested in. I just don't know. And this season four is short. I mean, they probably could, but like they're not going to invest the time and money for something that's already old, right? They're always going to invest in something new. The same with the card game. They're always going to invest in the new, not the old, you know. So like if it wasn't finished, whatever, it's scrapped. The same with the ending, certain parts of 5Ds or the ending of 5Ds. They didn't finish dubbing that either, so they
Mm-hmm.
just moved on. They're like, all right, well, this is old. This is old news now, so they're not gonna go back and backtrack. That would just be a waste of money for them. Is how I think they would see it. It's like there's no point, you know. And they could watch it online at this point, like it's on Crunchyroll. You can just watch it
Mm-hmm.
sub there, so it's not like they really need to do like invest it.
Yeah, it's absolutely not as hard as it was back in the day. I had to download my stuff from Pirate Bay, like what, 15
Oh
years
yeah.
ago at this point. It's fucking insane. Uh, uh, you ranked Arc 5 pretty highly. What did you think of the show? Just in general.
I personally like really, in general, I personally really loved it. I actually really loved my favorite part of R5 was the characters. I really love I had a lot of fun watching it. I love, there's Yuya, there's Reiji, there's Gongensika, Shun. There's just a bunch of the characters. I like the story. Obviously, it ended horribly. Like we all know that. We all don't need
Mm-hmm.
to. It is what it is. It ended bad. It was a weird ending. It didn't make a lot of sense. After they got done with like the first arc, it was kind of rough trying to find their footing. I personally like the synchro arc. People don't like the synchro arc. They thought it was too long, which I agree. It could have definitely been shorter. I like the synchro arc. I like the structure of that. I like the story they were telling there personally. And then, we know it got rougher and rougher. It was obvious they didn't know exactly where they were going or how they were doing it. But I love the build up in R5. It always tense, trying to figure, whenever Yuya went berserk or any of the U boys went berserk, and like Zark would like start coming out and stuff like that. Like it was always cool. But yeah, I love the music, I love the archetypes, and I love the characters, and I do like the concept of the story. It just was obviously botched and not well planned out, especially at the end. So, but I really loved the show. I thought it was. I had fun watching it the whole time, and I loved a lot of the decks that were used in there. Like sometimes for Zale, I'm not in love with all of the archetypes, right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
run my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, so I'm always building character decks. So I'm not like not all of the character decks in Zale I love. All the characters decks I love in Zale. But in Arc 5, I almost love all of them. There's Raid Raptor, Super Heavy Samurai, there's Performer Pal, there's the Pendulum Magicians, there's DDDs, there's just a whole array of different stuff. There's Phantom Knights to the Predaplants. Like I just love all the decks. It's like I just love all of this. This is stuff like all of them were just like top tier fun decks, and it was just great. And the music for Arc 5 is top tier too. This like on par there with Zale. It's really good, the music. For yeah, the sub the original soundtrack. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think it was a fun show. Does it deserve what it got for how it ended? Sure, but I had a fun ride, and I could still go back and rewatch it. I'm not the type of person like there are people like this, and it's fine if you are. I go back, and if I really love the show, I'm gonna go back and watch the whole thing. I won't skip anything. I won't skip an arc. Oh, I didn't like this arc. Blah blah blah. I'll just rewatch the whole thing. I never skip anything. If
Mm-hmm.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. So even DM, I'll go back and I'll rewatch it from beginning to end, all the filler arcs and everything. I don't really care. I don't really skip anything. I just I love Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole franchise. I love the anime, and I don't skip a thing. I'll do the same thing for Brains. I won't skip a thing because I just love Yu-Gi-Oh. And I think Brains is better binge watching as opposed to watching it week by week like it was before. It was kind of a drag. Binge watching, especially Brains, is a better watch than having to wait every week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on the side note. But yeah.
I gotta ask you about the dreaded legacy characters in Arc 5. What did you think of the
Okay.
the idea?
The idea is good. The execution was not, right. So like the idea was good. It was cool. They did. I think they did a good job with Jack. I was fine with Jack. I thought it made sense. They went to the synchro arc. They included Jack in there as the king, right? The king of duels in that synchro arc, and I thought that was good. I thought the way it was introduced was really well. I thought Crow was fine in there as well. They gave him a purpose and a role, and with the characters and stuff. Obviously, the GX characters. Edo had his role. Like I didn't mind it. Obviously, Oscar got shafted. I was so upset. She had a good introduction scene, and then it was all downhill from there. Like every other female Yu-Gi-Oh character, just all downhill. Uh, you have
True.
one cool moment or two, and then it's all downhill from there. It's the saddest thing of all time. Um, I do feel like they just didn't know what to do with the characters, and sometimes they spent too much time with those. They just didn't know exactly what to do with them. Like they could have just done better knowing when to put them in and out, and then not getting don't give them too much screen time because in the end it's not their show, so you shouldn't give them too much screen time. It should still be about the main characters. Not that they had like all that much screen time anyway, but it was just a mess. They were just juggling so many characters, and I think the idea is good. The one thing I was mad about with Jack was at the very end of the show when you had to like duel Jack and Jack again, like for the third or fourth
Mm-hmm.
time or whatever. And instead of dueling Reiji there to like move on to the next step, for whatever reason they decided to have him duel Jack again, even though he had already defeated him. There was no point of having that duel anymore. Like it was just weird. Like Reiji should have had that moment. They could have a nice long duel, and then the Reiji versus Yuya duel at the end was shorter than I would have liked it to be because they just wasted time doing a bunch of stupid stuff. Like it just was unnecessary. But I like the idea. I just think it was executed bad. I thought Jack was executed well, but I yeah, yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I think it was cool. I wish we had gotten to see other characters. I think Shark would have been a cool introduction in there, or maybe four with his gimmick puppets. A different version of him. Stuff like that. Like we could have done more, but we didn't have enough of the Xyz arc. The Synchro arc could have been cut short. Add a couple more episodes to the Xyz arc. Uh, Stay there for a little bit. I know it's kind of hard because I mean the dimension's already kind of destroyed, so there's not much to do there. And then the fusion arc, I don't. It just they didn't know where they were going and how they were juggling all of it. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the returning characters. I like the idea. I just wish it was done better and didn't get much in the way of like the main story.
No, true. I mean, I kind of echo a similar sentiment with this. I really loved Jack. I feel like he was, and this is gonna be like a very unpopular opinion. I did not like how they did the whole Jack Carly thing in 5Ds. Like the initial idea seemed
Right,
fine,
right, right.
but then it just kind of derailed into nothing, slowly but surely. A lot of people disagree with me on this
Yeah,
for whatever reason. I don't know why. But
that they disagree with what that you did like that she declined or that she didn't decline. What do you mean?
it's more so like I mean, people would give me pushback in terms of like, oh, the whole thing is irrelevant. Therefore, the fact that they did it badly and that it derailed into nothing doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because
Oh
basically, like,
no, it
who
definitely
cares,
matters.
right? But like, I don't know. That felt like
I mean,
one of
yeah, there's some.
yeah, that felt like one of the more one of the better fleshed out parts of Jack's character in 5Ds. Honestly, for me
Oh yeah,
personally,
absolutely, yeah,
and like the
yes,
fact that
I
that was
agree. Yeah,
missing from Arc 5 just felt kind of. I don't know. I feel like I liked Jack as a rival, not so much as like a character in Arc 5, if you know what I mean. Like he
that's
fulfilled.
fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was fine with Jack because once again, he's not a main character in the show, so I don't feel like he needed to have that deep of a backstory. They just took enough from his 5D's backstory of growing up in the slums and then going to the tops and stuff like. They took some basic structural, elements from his story in 5Ds and implemented it. But like, I didn't personally care. Like, I'm fine in my mind of like separating. Like, okay, this is a Jack from a different dimension. He had a different story. I don't need to see him relating to Yusei. he doesn't have to have a relationship. This is another dimension, another alternate timeline. So I don't need to see that in order to be like, oh, that's Jack. This is just a different Jack. I still love the original Jack more, obviously, because he's a fully fleshed out character. But Jack didn't need to be a lot in Arc 5 anyway because it's not his story and he's not 5Ds. It's Arc 5. But I liked what enough of what they did with him, and I didn't think anything more was necessary for me personally.
No, no, true. I mean, it definitely is a different spin on the character. And again, they did more with him than they did with Crow, for instance, or
Yeah,
with Edo or Asuka or whoever. Actually, I think him and maybe Kaito were like the only two legacy characters that had any semblance of importance in the story at the end of the day,
right. Yeah,
right? But it's kind
yeah.
of
And it's a shame we didn't get. Oh, sorry. Go on. Go on. Go.
no. I was just gonna say that it's like it's strange because you're right in saying that it's not their story, but most of the time, again, besides maybe Jack and Kaito, it just felt like they were there solely for the purposes of fan service. They might as well just thrown in a couple of new
Yeah, yeah.
characters in there, right? Like I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
I know it's fan service, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it's fan service as long as they handle it, the right way. But I'm fine with the fan. Like, I don't care. I loved it. I mean, that's what a lot of people got brought back because they saw them come back into the show. Like, oh, that's Jack, even though it's not the same Jack. That's enough to get people back. So it works. But yeah, and not everybody loves it, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But for me personally, I enjoyed it. I thought the idea was good. I thought the execution was bad, especially for the other characters other than Jack. So, but I think they could have done more with it. But to make the story better as a whole, taking them out might be better because then you could just focus once again on the main characters and not try to force, fan service in there for the sake. Like, if you're not going to write a good story with the fan service, then don't even do it. Then put it aside. Like, if you're not going to do it right, then don't do it at all, kind of thing. But if you are going to do it, then do it correctly and make it all work together. Don't sidetrack the main characters of Arc 5 for the returning characters, the fan service and all that. So if you do it right, great. If you can't, then just don't do it. But it's already done, so we can't go back.
Absolutely, yeah, true. What did you think of the? I mean, you kind of touched on this before, but like, what did you think of the ending of Arc 5 specifically?
Yeah, just similar to kind of everyone else, I felt like the ending was very strange, right? Like it was all just so strange, like everything kind of got reset, kind of, and everyone had to get their memories back. That was kind of weird. Um, Yuya absorbed the U boys, Yuzu absorbed the U girls, the other ones didn't exist for some reason. But like they're all back in Yuya's body, but they didn't turn back into Zark or into Ray. So like, what the heck is that about? Like, it was just weird. And then the whole baby smiling plot was like that was also weird. Like Rayra all of a sudden being a baby again, and then you got to make the baby smile. Like, I get the whole point for Yuya's characters. Like, you want to make the world smile through dueling, but like it was just a weird way to execute it. It was just weird. Like, okay, like, all right, fine. I guess we'll do this. I don't really understand it. It seems kind of, and then the ending was just like, oh, okay, the same complaint as everybody else, right? Yuto, Yugo, and Yuri, they're all dead. The Yu girls are dead, and it's just Yuya and Yuzu, and then everybody's just smiling and happy and clapping. Even Shun, like that made no sense. He was just smiling. Yeah, doesn't have his best friend anymore, doesn't have his sister anymore, and he's smiling. But like they didn't have the time any more time. That was the end. So they just forced a smile, and that's what it felt like. The ending was a forced smile. Like, oh, you see, it made sense, and you made everybody smile, so he succeeded his goal. But like, it was just stupid. It just didn't make any sense. It was illogical. Like, it wasn't built up right. It was, and they wasted a lot of time with useless stuff. I don't know. It was just like I said, the ending was just a huge mess, just altogether. But there were parts of it that I enjoyed, but like for the most part, yeah, it was just a weird way to end the show, and it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. Like, really, like that's it. Like, I don't buy that. Like, I don't buy that's everybody's just happy for no freaking. It makes no sense.
No,
Yeah. So yeah.
right.
So
And
I.
with Arc 5, it kind of hurts the most because like it had the most potential, I would argue, out
Oh
of any
yeah.
of their spin-off.
That's why. Yeah. That's why it scars. Yeah. Yeah. It scars, man. It had the potential to be the greatest. It had a rich idea, a rich story, hopping through dimensions. All the different summoning mechanics all in one. How they integrated the summoning mechanics and into the story and making them different dimensions and all. Like that's all. Like everything's cool. The build up of Zark and the U boys and the U like all that is all good stuff. But like yeah, it's a shame how it ended because it had so much potential to be just incredible, the greatest, really. Like, whew.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Before I let you go, I gotta ask you about
Mhm.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. What are your thoughts?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Like,
Well, I mean, as you know, it's been rough. Getting absolutely no news for what over a year, almost 2 years. I don't even know anymore. It's been a while. It for Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. Are you asking me? Do I think it's coming?
yeah, do you think it's coming? What are your kind of predictions, wants, desires? What would you like to see?
Okay. Okay. So, do I think it's coming? I think it is coming just because they're starting to throw hints in there. They're trying to do. And there's little hints. It's not a lot. Like, we're obviously grasping for straws here, trying to find anything. But like, and they're really not giving us much. But like, there's, they said they want to do like a, what is it? Like a, not a rewrite, but like, what did they say that they wanted to do with Yu-Gi-Oh? Like they wanted to start from scratch. So well, do you
Yeah,
remember?
kinda, sorta reboot kind of thing. Yeah, I
Yes,
think.
a reboot. We don't know what that is. We don't know if that means the card game. We don't know what it means. They were not clear at all. No specifics. Just like, oh yeah, we're thinking of rebooting or whatever. Based on some of the stuff Dylan said in his video with some of the numbers and like that's what's giving me kind of hope that like they're cooking something right. Like it makes sense with Kazuki Takahashi's death. Like they don't really know where to go. They felt like stopping now would make sense and trying to figure out what the next steps are, which is fine. Um, do I think it's coming? I feel like it is. I feel like I mean if it doesn't happen this December, in a month from now, whew, that's gonna be rough. But I think they should at least announce something, even if it's not a show. Be like, oh, like we're working on something now, official for the Yu-Gi-Oh anime specifically. Like, give us a little something like this is happening. I feel like it is. Either say that it's happening or just say it's done. Like, just make up your mind. Just say it so we know what. Like, don't keep us in suspense. But I feel like they're trying to rework stuff, trying to figure out what the next direction for the next 25 years Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna be. So like, especially now with the creator, like they're trying to figure that out, which is fine. So yeah, I wanted to see it. I want to see it. And in terms of which type of show I want, whether I want Rush or whether I want, Master Duel, I wish I could have both, man. It's just that we can't have both because I love both, and I would hate to lose Rush as a show because I really loved it. I love the idea of it, and everything. And then but I love the Master Duel and the old. I don't think we'll ever get the old animation again, unless they hire a really good, art studio to take over animation studios to take over that to make it sharp like it was like with uh what was it what was the old company, not
Gallop.
Studio Bridge, the one before that.
Yeah.
Gallop, yeah. And drawing like that is very hard. That style of Yu-Gi-Oh is very hard to draw consistently weekly. I do kind of hope that in the future they drop the weekly thing and just do, kind of like they do for My Hero Academia and other animes where it's like, a couple months of new episodes and they take a break for half a year or something, come back and continue the next season. Like I would be fine with that because it's a lot of work these animation studios put into it. Like it's really a lot, especially. with stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. Like, you know, I it's okay. It's okay to, take time. People are used to it now. Nobody like who watches weekly anime anymore. Like it's not really a thing anymore. It's more about streaming and all that stuff. So, and binging shows. So it's okay as long as we get more Yu-Gi-Oh. That's all I care about. I just want more Yu-Gi-Oh. You know,
At the end of the
but I
day,
wish we
yeah.
could get both. I wish we could get, yeah, yeah. I wish we just get Yu-Gi-Oh, whether it's Rush, whether it's Master Duel. I don't care which one. I wish we had both, but we're not going to get both. So, and I would like to see. I would like to see them try doing a female duelist. I want them to get a new writer in there who knows how to write females. And
Mm-hmm.
because I mean they did good with Sevens and Go Rush. They did much better writing females than Sevens and Go Rush. So they've already gotten better. So as long as we can kind of keep that up for whatever the next one is, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. But yeah, any other questions about you? I don't know if I hit everything.
I mean, you did. You absolutely did. And yeah,
Oh, okay.
I mean, man, goes without saying, but like, I feel like it still has to be said. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Um, it's
Dude,
a,
of course, man.
it's
I
a, it's a,
appreciate it.
it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful thing, that you can just kind of talk to people about the thing that you probably, safe to say, love the most. That's fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's fucking cool.
yeah, man. It was awesome.
Yep.
I appreciate you remembering me and having me on, honestly, because like I don't really get asked stuff like this. So that was kind of a shock that you hit me up, like, oh, you want to do a Yu-Gi-Oh discussion with me? And I was like, oh, okay. I've never been asked that before, other than for Dylan. But so it was cool. I appreciate having this talk with you, man. It was fun. I would love to do another one day if you're ever down.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say we're gonna talk more in the future. 100%. I
Absolutely.
will as soon as I upload the thing. I'm gonna shoot you a link, and yeah,
I'll
we
appreciate it, man.
can. Yeah, we'll wrap soon again. Okay.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
You too. Have fun. Peace out.
Peace out.
Okay. That was Legendary Duels. Thank you all for tuning in. Fun discussions all around. It's super fucking late where I'm at. And yeah, we're gonna talk more in the future, more guests coming, all that. Have a great night. This has been Blade of Chaos, signing out. Peace out.